Welcome to the Comix Zone. Welcome to the Comix Zone.
What it nerds? This is Mike,
This is Bill.
and this is the Comix Zone. We got Osh with us today. Welcome back, bro. It's been a little while. When was the last time we had you on?
That was months ago, bro. 5, 6
Yeah, when was that?
You one of the original episodes, one of the original few.
Yeah, it was. Well, like I said, welcome back, bro. This is we're gonna talk.
Villains.
Yeah, our top 3 villains.
The villainy of Villainous.
Yep. So, and that's from any genre, like whatever, right?
Yep.
That's what you said.
It's hard to pick just 3. I could do 3 in any one genre.
just
It
gonna-
was, so I omitted an obvious one just because everybody knows, you know what I mean? It's just like I just had to not do that one just so it would give us something else too. Because
Probably one of us picked it.
yeah, well, I mean, for me, he's always been my number one since I was like, psh, so I just didn't do it.
Who?
Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, Darth Vader, he's
figured that would
been
be
my
it.
hero literally since the first time I seen him choke a dude across the galaxy when I was like a little kid. You know what I mean? It's like, yep, he's the one. That's my guy.
How
That's
did he
why
do
he
that?
had to make my pick.
How did he do that?
With the Force, bro.
Yeah, but usually they can't just like grab shit across the galaxy, though.
He can.
Okay.
He did. Yeah, it was like the meme when it's, through.
He's the
Zoom.
chosen one, bro. Quit. He's the chosen one.
It's fine. Just stop.
He's the one. He's the Goku of Star Wars. You know what I mean? It's just he's all the excuses.
Yeah, he could
you
just do whatever.
What? How did he do? Because he's Darth Vader, bro. Just quit.
Okay.
That's how.
That's good. There you go. Okay.
And
Fair enough.
ultimately, I argue he brought balance to the Force through
I
his
mean,
offspring.
he did. I mean,
Well, just the first original 3.
well, multiple times he did. He killed everybody to where there was only 2 on the Jedi and 2 on the Sith, and then
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. He did it more than once.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
then did he when he killed Palpatine though? And he died
Well, I guess
because of that,
Palpatine did
like super
no,
unbalanced.
because that's a J.J. Abrams loophole.
What?
He was dead. And
No.
now he's back.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the original.
Well, okay. So
trilogy,
originally,
when Palpatine
because who was left? Luke and Leia
and no Sith.
Ooh, you're right. No, yeah, because Palpatine was still alive. Psh.
Well, okay, but yeah,
No, I don't know. I enjoyed the new Star Wars movies just because of what they did for my heart. But what they did for the story was trash.
The new shows are kind of like that.
No,
Like,
you're tripping.
well, no. Okay, so you loved Kenobi, like every last second of it?
No. And there were definitely discrepancies, like we talked about on the Comix Zone on the Facebook page. You know what I mean? However, I wasn't completely disappointed. I'm more worried about Andor, or what's it?
I think that'll be like the sleeper.
I don't
'Cause
know.
it's like a
gonna be hard.
prequel to Rogue One.
It's going to be hard to top
Mandalorian
to me.
Yeah, true.
In season 2,
Boba Fett didn't even do that.
Boba Fett was sick though.
It was cool.
And I never liked Boba Fett ever as being a Star Wars fan. Have never owned a shirt. I think I have maybe like one. I don't even know if I have an action figure. I got like a Pez.
It's if you think about it, it's kind of weird that he was even that big because, like in the original movies, he didn't even have that big.
It
of
was
a
just
part.
he was iconic. I think
He
the
just
symbol
looked cool.
of how he looked. Yeah,
He just looked super cool,
yeah.
and people like their imaginations went, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
But then the books and shit, and they expanded on it in
See,
that.
that's
and
what
that
that's
was
what
good.
Fobbs. He was always like harping on me hard because of the books. And,
You never read the books?
I don't like Boba Fett. I don't.
No, not just any.
Yeah, no,
books?
yeah, bro.
You've read some?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
reading since the EU. I just,
Okay.
I don't. I've read like one 501st Legion book. I don't really care about clones and commandos. I'm a Force sensitive guy, so Sith and Jedi or Dark Jedi or the what are the witches on?
The Witches of Dathomir.
Yeah,
Isn't
okay.
that what that is?
Yeah. Well, then there you go. Then shit like that's what I like. Stuff like that's cool to me. That's why Darth Vader choking the dude across the galaxy. That's why he's been my hero since I was 7.
That's why the Darth Bane trilogy is so great.
Bro.
Is because you get like a different perspective, and it's like all from the dark side's point of view. And then you see Jedi, but then he just fucking super wrecks
Everybody.
everyone.
Yeah.
You should read those books, Bill.
They're on audio tape or audiobook. I've listened to them twice and I've read them, the whole trilogy, also twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, since we're not including Darth Vader,
Okay, so we're gonna start with me then. We're gonna start with me.
hold up.
So we're doing top three villains, but before we do that, we're gonna do a quick
let's do a quick check
the
this shit out. Yep.
each week, bringing cool stuff that's worth checking out.
Which, by the way, our new episode of Dragon D's Balls is out now. For Dragon Ball Superhero, the new movie. So go check that out.
What did you think over it? No spoilers.
It's great. Well, there's tons of spoilers in the episode, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't listen until you do see it. But my overall, I'm such a fucking Dragon Ball nerd that I was just happy to be there in the theater watching a Dragon Ball movie. I was just like a little kid, super excited.
Did the crowd?
It was amazing. I loved everything. Huh?
Did they clap afterwards?
No.
Did they clap during?
I did.
When I went to see, when I seen Revenge of the Sith, I was like, it was like a play, like a live play to me the whole time. I'm like cheering. And
everybody's
yelling.
like with me, and I'm like poking people. I'm like, oh, I could see shit coming, and I'm like, oh,
trying to tell everybody.
Yeah. Here it comes. And they're like, dude, fucking, like, let me watch.
Okay, Mosca.
Like they know too, but I'm like, oh shit. Like when I went to see Revenge of the Sith was the same way.
Bro, I was losing my mind that whole movie. I went and seen it for a whole week straight. I took my girlfriend to see it for her birthday. She hated me.
That's dope.
Yeah.
She's like, go on your own.
No, I literally seen it 2 nights in a row before that. And so I'm assuming she thought like I was sick of it. I was going to take her to something else. Fuck no.
So have you seen the new She-Hulk?
I haven't. No, I haven't taken time yet. I've barely even made it through any of the Marvel shows yet. I haven't seen Moon Knight yet either.
So I watched it, and it's very much in par with everything you're getting from Disney. The punchline, the humor.
It's all the same.
And then the only thing is talking about when Captain Rogers lost his virginity.
See, I like when Disney has gone dark also, you know what I mean? Like, that's why when Disney first bought Star Wars, I'm sitting here freaking out on Fobbs, who's in the break room, and I was so excited, and he's all butthurt. And I'm like, bro, have you seen any of the Pirates movies? Like, Star Wars is going to be so visually amazing. Like, I was so excited. And they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dope.
Visually. There's more species just roaming around than just, you know, a Twi'lek and some cheesy robots and, you know what I mean? Guys with masks and...
The effects in Sandman, which is also one of the things to check out on Netflix, is worth it. So Neil Gaiman's Sandman as a TV episodic show. So each episode is like a different character, because the first one's kind of about the origins of Sandman, very true to the comic. And then the next one was a different character, and then Lucifer, and then Constantine.
Nice.
By the way, there's supposedly a new Constantine coming, like Keanu Reeves. So Constantine 2.
So Sandman, I
don't know how
listened
true that
to
is.
the first book, and I'm like halfway through the second book. Those are dark.
Yes.
Bro. Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you were talking about that a while back.
Bro,
So it's
blew my
DC
mind.
Warner Brothers. That was the interesting thing. It was produced by Warner Brothers. So DC and Warner Brothers together is putting out Sandman, which I was glad it wasn't Sony, just from Morbius and other things.
Which show was better?
Sandman, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of it. And some of it was a little disappointing because it was like, yes, I already know this story, but the twists that they made and different character changes were really good. Like they made a lot of the characters, cast them from females instead of like the males that they were dominated in the comic book. So a little bit more liberal that way, but I thought it was a good twist and still true to its original form to the T.
see, I had zero knowledge on Sandman before I listened to the audiobooks.
So like the character Desire is neither male nor female. It's both. So I mean, it was, you know, I haven't got to that busy in the comic in the show
books,
yet.
The books follow the Dream Master. I forget his name right now, but the guy who controls everybody's dreams, and he ends
Morbius.
up.
Morpheus. Yeah.
Is it Morpheus? It's Morpheus, not Morbius.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it follows him through the books, and
Lord of
it's
Dreams.
crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So
were you not a fan of She-Hulk then? You didn't like it? Is that what you're saying? Or it's just
I enjoyed
very on
it.
par with
It's
what
bubble
they've
gum.
been doing?
It's if you want a good bubblegum show that you don't have to think much, it's entertaining. You got a little action, a little comedy, a little this.
But it's not giving you. Is it giving you Easter eggs left and right to blow your mind?
I don't know enough. Not that I've noticed, but I don't always notice that in the first go round. So
See, I always watch something and go straight to YouTube and watch all the reviews because
yeah,
dorks like us or dorky or already got stuff out on
I
it.
wasn't that invested in it yet. Maybe a few episodes in, and it's worth talking about. But
Yeah, like when Solo came out, I went and seen it, I think maybe 4 times in the theater, but I kept seeing it because I'd go back and watch something on YouTube or review, and it would point out all these crazy Easter eggs, so I had to go back and actually see it.
So you loved that movie?
I like a few things that they did, but it was more like what he said. It was kind of cheesy and kind of bubblegum to me, but I like a few things that they did. I really did. I just love Star Wars.
I liked Lando.
Oh my God, he did such a good job.
He killed it.
He did such a good job.
The Calrissian when he's
goodness.
like kicked back in the ship or like recording his journal.
Man,
the
killed it.
Calrissian Chronicles. That shit was great. I thought it was an awesome movie.
So how are we gonna do
Off the wall? Yeah. So
the top threes? Are we
did
gonna
you have anything
one
left?
each?
Did you have anything left before we jump in?
no, that was all the.
Okay, so yeah, first we'll start with you and your number 3.
My number 3.
It doesn't have to be in whatever order you want.
Okay.
Dealer's
Or
choice.
yeah, it doesn't have to be even in.
Well, let me look real quick, so maybe I can save the bombshell for last one that nobody expects.
Oh, do you got a bombshell noise?
Wario's the best villain. First, I want to mention what I think a good villain is.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's what
it's
I was going to
important
wanted to discuss also, is because villain is literally perspective.
Yeah, it totally is.
Was Thanos the villain to himself?
No. Well, maybe a little.
No, he wasn't, because I read his book.
Well, yeah,
He
he's
wasn't.
definitely,
He was the hero of his
story. It depends on which Thanos you're talking about. The one from the comics? No.
I read his book, whatever Marvel has recently put out.
Oh.
It's pretty good. It's like his origin story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, for the MCU origin?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Oh, that's something.
But like what I was saying, like, I hate to cut you off about what a villain is, but to me, villain is perspective, because Darth Vader is technically classically a villain, but to me, he overthrew the whole galaxy for love. Is he really a bad guy?
And I think the important part of the journey is that you wouldn't have a hero if it wasn't for a villain. You need that, and I like more of a word of nemesis or kind of conflict is a better way of kind of look at from a literary standpoint and analyzing the different kind of heroes and villains.
I don't remember when it was, if it was in a comic or a book or maybe even an animated film, but the Joker, maybe it was The Killing Joke, but the Joker told Batman, like, we can't exist without each other.
Yep. There's been several.
Oh, yeah, even in the movies he said that. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
He's like, you serious?
Yeah.
Like,
Or the
I am not complete without you.
Yep. Bro,
Like,
literally in life that's happened to me. People, like, the way I grew up was different. I'm not going to get into that on this, but I'd spent a lot of energy and time hating certain people, and one of these dudes was killed by the cops, and I cried. It fucked me up because I had spent a lot of effort and energy and emotion
Like
on this
hating
person.
him?
Yeah.
And, like, he
really,
died
and
and-
really we were very similar. Like, maybe if we had come to some kind of understanding as people, we probably would have been really good friends, because we were very similar, but we were just young.
And I think that's what makes like a good hero villain like nemesis dynamic, is like when you have like Charles Xavier and Magneto.
See,
and like
Batman, Joker.
and you blur the lines of like what's morally okay and what isn't. Like, so you're like, so Magneto, you could totally.
Well, every
You
quote
can
unquote
totally-
villain has a reason that's driving him to do the things that he's doing, which are morally justified to
The
him.
villain's the one that's willing to
understandable and relatable. I think like that's what I think makes Joker great, is you can relate to the madness to a certain degree.
That's why I love Thanos.
And a lot of
I
other.
understand.
But a good villain, they are relatable. Like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
you can totally get where they're coming from, and then you almost don't even agree with what the hero is like. Like a good villain makes you question
You can
which
you can
side you're on.
sympathize with the villain if he's a good villain.
Yeah, it makes you
If
question.
he's a classically quote unquote like what you literary good villain, then
Like
Yeah.
good example, Captain America and the Winter, or what was it? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was.
It's like that show made you question whose side you were on. It's like, well, they're kind of got a point.
the Book of Boba
But,
literally did that for that whole entire show. They're
Yeah.
showing why the bad guy is not
So
a bad guy.
I think that's what makes a really good villain. But like also, I mean, you're saying you guys could relate to what the Joker's saying, or you just love the madness of it.
No, you
I can
because
relate.
that's-
I can
because
relate to the madness.
That's also a great formula for a villain. Like somebody where you're like, wow, that's like extreme as fuck, and they're like
right. So,
a homicidal maniac.
so what's your first pick then, Osh? What's
Okay.
who's
So I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to go with one that I doubt very many people have like great knowledge of. So that's why I want to go first with it. Lestat the Vampire. So I've listened to, or not listened to, I've read the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. So I've read Lestat's entire,
I read all that recently too.
bro, they're literally my favorite books that I've ever read. Anne Rice is my favorite author of the thousands of books I read in my life. It's poetry, like moving poetry. It's
Dude,
phenomenal.
I have said the same thing. The way she describes the world around them is like,
She's a little too homoerotic for me,
yeah,
but
no, the way she describes like the way she describes the world around them, and it is like poetry.
yeah, it's amazing. I love it. She's literally my
The
favorite
way
author
she can
ever.
like string shit together and describe shit so eloquently, it's like incredible.
Yeah, I used to fall asleep reading her books, and my dreams would be narrated with like the most phenomenal words that everything I did in my dream was narrated. It was crazy.
And Lestat's interesting because he's not like, so when you watch the movie,
Gay.
you get
That's so
yeah,
stupid.
when you watch the movie, you get the sense that he is just an evil fuck.
I think they tried to, because in the books he's like the spoiled prince vampire.
Yeah.
But he was also a badass who went through tons of trials and tribulations, and they didn't relate that in the movies.
And so he's another one that kind of blurs the lines of like who's.
No, he's a bad guy.
He's totally a bad guy, but you can sympathize with him at points.
No,
It's
he's all out of survival. He honestly, like, I don't know what it is. Honestly, he like, to me, it seems like, I mean, if you read the books, obviously there's like a fate or destiny for him or whatever. But like reading the books, just from my perspective, it's kind of like he almost stumbles onto all these great things that happen to him.
But he's also
Out of survival.
He's also that guy that sees the fucking bullshit and everything that like all the other vampires stand for.
But it took
And,
him
like,
forever to do
and
that.
that's
But it's
why
because of the way he became a vampire. He wasn't like made in a coven, or, you know, traditionally he was made.
He joined a coven though.
But Magnus, I think, was the dude who made him into a vampire.
Marcus,
No,
wasn't it Marcus?
no.
Or no. Yeah, I know which one you're
But
talking.
he made literally
He's the one
bit
who
him.
got buried in the ice.
No, he
right?
burned himself. He made
Oh,
Lestat,
yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
fucking jumped into the fire. Didn't teach Lestat anything. Didn't even tell him he was going to be a vampire.
I
or nothing.
remember.
He just became one, and then was like a vampire orphan child, basically. I mean, he was like a grown man, but in the sense of an orphan, like left on your own with no one to teach you, and you don't know anything. And
Like he kidnaps him
yep,
and then like turns him, and then like before he like as he turns, he like forms this like crazy attachment to this guy, and he's like crying as he burns himself.
so
It's pretty weird.
I picked Lestat for my first one just because it's you know, chronicled. It's like very long and lengthy, and you know, he does all these things. He switches souls into a different body with the soul thief, and he kills the queen of the damned and becomes the most powerful being. Essentially,
I was gonna mention
the devil recruits him to recruit more souls into hell than God. Like, he's supreme.
That's what I was gonna mention. Like any great villain, he gains power. Like
Yeah, Lestat levels up
like
nonstop.
he just gains more and more power.
So
as
he
goes.
makes it so that he can walk in the day. He can fly and like directly, like, you know, when the sun's out and it doesn't do anything, like he's just all powerful is like the only way to describe how he becomes ultimately.
He
in the
becomes a
books.
god.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, so he was my first pick just because, like what I said, I just don't think a lot of people, that surprised me, you know, that you read the books. So that's super.
Yeah, they're great.
They're amazing.
They're super good. If you haven't read any of those, I mean, just read the first book and you'll be like...
I stumbled onto them when I was on my way to prison. I came across The Vampire Lestat was the first one I read. Then I had to go back and read Interview, and then I went and finished the...
You remember that shitty band, The Savage Garden?
From the 90s?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You're from the 90s?
That's a line from those books. Is like Lestat in his mind would describe the world as a savage garden.
Huh.
And that's where they got their name from. Just a fun fact.
Nice. Nice.
Because I heard...
And Lestat, he like gets all depressed and don't want to eat and
Well, yeah, he goes into hibernation, and all vampires, if they live long enough, do it. And he actually did it sooner than most. And then he woke up later and did the whole Rockstar thing. And that's what I was talking about, is him like trying to change things up. And you can totally relate with that, though,
Or was
right?
he just trying to
It's
piss
like,
people off?
That's what he's just a rebel.
And that
He's just trying to...
And that too.
He was literally just trying to make people...
He wanted
or
to shit in the
vampires
fucking
or-
punch bowl,
Yep.
and, you know.
Yep, go against the grain. That's what his whole
That's what
entire
I mean,
mold-
and anybody can relate with that. You don't want to just go with the flow all the time. And, like, he just wanted to fuck with the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah, I
And
didn't like Lestat, but like what you said, you know, I think a good villain can make you hate him and like him at the same time.
And that's the important distinction, is, like, you have to not like him a little. Like, that was what I was going to say about, like, what makes a good villain is, like, or makes them the villain is, like, you can probably relate to their motivation, but the lines that they cross to get what they want, you know, that's where the evil is.
So who's your first villain?
I'm going to go with Apocalypse from the X-Men. And he's probably my favorite, like, comic book villain ever.
Mm.
I think it's because, you know, when I finally started picking up comic books and reading actual runs, because I'd read, like, older comics in the past and whatnot, but I didn't read, like, any current shit. But I picked up, when I was a kid, The Age of Apocalypse, and, like, it was like the Amazing X-Men, like, number 3 or whatever from that run. And, like, that just really stuck with me, and he's always been my favorite. And
What makes him a good villain compared to somebody else?
a lot of the things that we've already mentioned, maybe not
To
the...
you though, specifically about him.
I'm saying, like, a lot of those things, but you can't, like, agree with his motivations.
But
Like,
we're asking you
he's like,
specifically.
he's literally, like, what makes him a good villain is he is everlasting and, like, unchanging, never changing. He's eternal, so he is always a threat, and always he's unshifting, and also
It's the ultimate challenge.
yeah, like he's like,
One
even
off.
when you beat him, he's never gone.
The
and then
immortal aspect.
And then as he comes back, like we said, he's always stronger the next time. And it's there's another guy on my list that I can describe better why I like him. I think I like Apocalypse more for nostalgic reasons. And just, like, reading those runs and seeing how powerful he was, the things that he could accomplish. And yeah, he's just that ultimate threat. And if done right in the movies, he could be the same level threat as a Thanos or worse. Because he's out to rule everything, right? He's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants to dominate and rule. and rule over a planet where survival of the fittest. You know, that's his like creed, and like he lives by that. Like, if you aren't strong enough, you will not survive. And that's
So does he want to be the only being, period?
no. He wants to.
So how is he's
I
going to
think
like
he-
sit on a throne and let everybody else fight for
He
scraps?
will sit on a throne of bones and ashes if he has to see the survival, like the strong survive.
And what's his end game though? I'm not a Apocalypse fan, so I need to know.
In the Age of Apocalypse, his goal was to rule, you know, over like he was working on dominating the entire planet. He had dominated all of the United States, and then he had his 4 horsemen that ruled over like sectors of, like, so he sectioned off parts of the United States, and like each one of those were like his dukes or whatever, right? Like they would rule over those sections.
So it was essentially
So it was a kingdom, or
okay, so
he was an
like
empire.
empire status, like
But
what?
like,
Conquer and then just let them do their thing, but
He-
I'm your emperor status.
I think he would also be happy to see everything burn, though, if that's where survival of the fittest led.
See, because if he's all powerful and nothing can kill him, then that's why I'm asking, like, what's his end game? Like, what's
It's
because
just
if he just wants to kill everything, like in Star Wars, there's Sith like that literally wipe out whole planets. You know what I mean? But they do it.
that's
for
a good
purpose.
question. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't think, since he is immortal, and you have to think in those terms, is like, how would you think, like Lestat and like Anne Rice's books describe like the way an immortal would
I
think.
think if I was
like,
immortal, I
really
would
well.
just want to comfortably exist forever, rather than.
You think that,
But what's
you think that until
because
you're
if nothing can kill you and you can kill everything, then you can literally just kill everything. And then what's the end game?
well,
You're
he's
just like
not
the
all
only thing left.
powerful in the sense that he could wipe out reality. I mean, I'm sure he could.
But I'm talking about living beings on the planet, right?
Right. He would have. I don't know. Like it's a good question.
Okay. I was just curious. Like I said, I'm not an apocalypse guy, so I don't really
So-
know. His
How did the character different between the movie and the comics?
He was obviously less powerful, but that's like a movie downscale thing. I think that happens to every character.
Take
and then-
too much time to explain the whole thing.
I
out.
only saw the movie once because the X-Men movies lost me after a while. I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I liked some, but not all. But I'm not going to trash them because the X-Men are my favorite Marvel before the MCU came out.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man 2. No, you didn't like Blade?
I mean, when the movie came out, but I can't say I've ever read a Blade comic.
What about Howard the Duck?
That's true.
Definitely, absolutely
That's a
not.
good point. That's a good point. I don't think I ever have read a Blade comic.
But the movies, yeah, the movies were awesome.
Have you?
Nope.
Really?
Well, that doesn't say much.
Maybe
But
we
I
should-
liked X-Men way before Blade came out, so that's the
That's
reason why.
true. That's a good point.
I've been a fucking
And
Magneto fan since a little guy too. That's why one day I was like, man, how come all my heroes are always the bad guys?
Because they're like Magneto makes sense. I mean, that guy's probably the most relatable.
Yeah, honestly.
And hopefully he's not.
But that's how I feel about
is
Darth
he on
Vader
anybody's
too.
list?
No, not on mine. Oh no,
Almost.
No?
almost.
Well,
Honorable mention then?
he was definitely an honorable mention. It was, and I think I went with the classic picks all in all. But yeah, I mean, because he and also didn't he somewhat represent Malcolm X versus
Yeah.
Martin
King.
Luther King
Yeah.
and those main
And
philosophies.
that's what I was gonna say is like the X-Men, the Magneto especially, he's like that Malcolm X, so he's hyper relatable, right? In like many ways.
And it's like we are the new gods. It's like or I love that one line in the
Well,
movie.
it's like they've been
you're a
doing
god
this
among
to us this whole time. Like it's our turn. You know
Yeah.
that mentality.
Right. Well, and it's like you can agree with their anger and like that, but like the lines that they cross to achieve their means, that's what, like somebody like Magneto, that's what makes him the villain.
And it's almost like political, like nation states kind of war type tactics too, which I think kind of gave it that kind of like cat and mouse ish, flavor. And
I honestly think a lot of writers or creators pull from war elements because Star Wars is straight World War II inspired from top to bottom. You know what I mean? So
Well, and you got to look at all a lot of villains is like Anakin. If he or like any villain, like there's a fork in the road where they take one path or the other.
They kill their heroes.
Yeah,
They
and
kill
it's
the
like,
last tie to their humanity.
I was extremely upset when Kylo Ren didn't kill his mom. R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, I love you. But in the movies,
yeah,
I was, because all the books, the Sith have to destroy everything that means anything to them. I named my daughter Ayla Elena, and Elena Daru was Darth Malgus's Twi'lek slave that he killed because he realized she was the only thing stopping him from achieving everything that he wanted
I
to.
think I remember, what book was that?
The one with Darth Malgus, where they sack the Jedi Temple, him and her.
That the
with assistance?
Was that the Darth Revan book?
Mm-mm. What was the name of it? I can't remember
like
the name. It was, Darth Malgus was the main character.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So who is your?
So
So you're up now.
So when we start looking at villains, I kind of have to think about the different kind of like man versus humanity, or like man versus a character versus character. Sorry, man or woman, whatever. But I like the characters where it's like them versus themselves. So one of my top favorite villains is the symbiote suit when it attaches to Spider-Man. So that conflict, that fighting within himself. You even saw it in some later Venoms where he's fighting.
Bully Maguire is your.
Not that movie, no. Fuck that. Except for Sandman. Sandman was good, but yeah, the rest of that movie was trash. I think in like Donny Cates' recent run of Venom, he did the same kind of thing where it's that nature, that yin and yang. So for that was one of my top favorite villains, and not just the original story, but some of the later storylines. Like there's
I was gonna say I don't know anything about that either, so.
It's a Chip Zdarsky, the Spider's Shadow. So it's a 5-issue book where it's
a great run of books.
It's one of the best things of the last two years as far as comics, because it's a short, complete story from start to finish.
That's what I was gonna say. If you wanted to read it, like it's
trade paperback or digital of
small and digestible. It's what, like 5 issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Peter Parker kept the symbiote and continued and became a bad guy, like vicious, like
what's it called? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Spider Shadow.
It's great.
Spider-Man's Spider Shadow.
Yeah,
let me make sure. I fuck up words all the time, so I should probably fact check that. But that is my first, and also Venom becomes one of my favorite villains too. So, but I had to go with the original and the origins with Spider-Man for my first.
That's a
pick.
good pick. Yeah. So like getting into like that, what made him a good villain. So you're talking about just to that internal battle.
Correct. And we see this a lot too. I can't think of anything off the top of my head now, but yeah, those internal battles of themselves, or even stories of growth in that same kind of nature, because I think even like if you analyze a book, hero and villain as all coming from one source as the writer, that those battles are actually happening in their own head. And, the yin and the yang, even if they're separate characters or one character, is...
Who is another one? I mean, I guess...
I got that's like literally the perfect segue into my next
number two.
Go.
Nero. My number 2 is Tyler Durden.
Oh, yeah.
I read the book and I've watched that movie a million times. It's my second favorite movie of all time. My first favorite movie of all time is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, because you don't get his like original name.
Yeah, no. The book is amazing. I just finished it probably like a month ago, but yeah, I've been obsessed with Fight Club since 1999.
Yeah, Fight Club's dope.
So, or did it come out in 2000? Either way, I remember I lived in Billings on New Year's of 2000, so it was literally like in that time frame sometime, but it's been
I listened to a whole like fucking this whole like it was a pretty long like drawn out explanation about that whole fucking like what just the whole thing, just like it was a whole podcast about
the book's a little bit deeper than the movie, obviously.
But they were talking about he was like it's been too long since I listened to it. Damn it. But that he's an interesting villain because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
He's like the Joker, just chaos, organized chaos.
Yeah, but then his other, like, more chill side, he doesn't even realize that.
Well, he's a paranoid schizophrenic, bro.
But you know, you can also have that same dynamic and go the other way, like with Moon Knight.
See, I haven't made it to Moon Knight yet, so
It's the show. You know, is whatever. It's okay, but like
it's flat in the middle,
okay.
but
it's
worth the ride.
Moon Knight and like the comics and shit, he's great.
Okay. Yeah, I've just
totally
Tyler Durden because like the organized chaos. I've always just organization, period, to be able to achieve these great things, whether, you know, perspective wise, good or bad, to be able to achieve them. And then not only that, this is the thing that I've always loved about rock bands is to get multiple people to do all these great things in unison to create something. That's what I loved about Tyler Durden. And not only that, he was tricking himself the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was so badass that he didn't even know he was doing it. So I love the perspective. I love the realization. I love the resolution. You know what I mean? All of it. I front to back. I just
so like what
that.
His motivation, right, was just like his end game was to like restart
to get rid of corporations and
society.
Financial debt, and to make everybody, you know, the Bill Gates is equal to you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the classic eat the rich
and the way
solution.
The way he built his army by starting the Fight Club and then creating rules, which, by the way, you said he wants chaos. So to form rules in the first place would seem to be
organized chaos.
Would seem to be contradictory to what he wants, but when you think about it, he wants to teach people to break rules. So
the right way.
Yeah. So when he says the first two rules of Fight Club are don't talk about Fight
Not
Club.
Even that, bro. Like with
but so he wants them, but
you know, and he's teaching saying, dude how to make bombs just, you know, offhand, just randomly saying it.
My point is he's like telling them to not do this because he wants them to break that rule and tell people. Like he's teaching them to break
human
rules.
nature.
He's teaching them to embrace that.
It's like
sometimes they don't remember the yelling in the room, but the whisper.
Right. So yeah, that's my second favorite movie of all time. He's my number 2 guy right there. I went with my favorite book villain,
and he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like he's he's a villain who
he won twice, bro. He won twice. Tyler Durden won, and then the real version of him killed Tyler Durden, so he also won. And he got the girl.
Yeah, once he didn't need Tyler anymore, he got rid of him.
Yeah.
He's like
he got the girl.
Yeah, like so he's one of the guys that actually won
in
the end.
I love it when the bad guy wins.
But he didn't who was the hero?
Him?
There never was.
He was.
Well, speaking of internal battle.
He stopped the villain, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was the hero and the villain.
So speaking of internal battle,
Yeah.
They both won. Yeah, like you said, the villain and the hero won.
Very rare example of that.
Blade Runner? No.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. I think at the end it twists who the hero is and who the villain is.
Well, that's like a classic thing, and like
The Godfather kind of does that too. The good guy is a bad guy.
That's what we keep coming back to. Any
twists,
great villain,
the dynamics. It's not just one.
When the lines are blurred on, like, because that's real life, dude. Like,
but how is there even lines? It's like it's layers,
that's
bro.
What it's not even lines. It's like life exists in a spectrum of all kinds. Like so, like what's good and what's bad is just like you said, a point of
perspective.
This
is one thing that I learned when I started studying philosophy when I was in prison. And the first prime example that I had of it was, and you know, no knock to anybody from any other culture, but I started noticing most of the illegal immigrants were sex offenders. not like rape or molestation, but always like indecent acts with the teenage girl, 16, 17, like that. Always like, and it wasn't, a majority, but a pretty big percentage, you know what I mean? Enough to make it noticeable, but it's because culturally, other cultures, the women are women at a younger age than they are legally in the United States.
Yeah.
In Mexico, yeah, I mean, we know what they are here at Quinceañera because we all have a Mexican friend somewhere. But in Mexico, that's like the girl's 18th birthday in Mexico equivalent.
So,
But
like,
they're 15.
essentially,
She's 15. She's turning 15.
yeah, essentially, you're talking about just like
She's becoming a woman right there.
from their perspective, it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, bro, if you ever been to like a Mexican dance, I don't know if you ever have, bro, but that's kind of like what the dynamic is, bro. Extremely young female, 30s plus male.
Well, I mean, that's the way.
I mean, that's how
That's the
human
way-
history was
Yeah, that's
for
the
a
way
long
it's
time.
been. Like Elvis married his young ass cousin or whatever.
But that's different because when we were in,
But that's like in the 50s. It was cool still.
no, it wasn't cool. Still, he was just rich and famous.
No, people did that.
That
though.
wasn't like a regular thing, bro. By the 50s,
Like
it wasn't. So you're talking about like monarchs. That was an extremely regular thing.
Okay, well, either way.
Yeah.
The point is,
I agree.
It's
There
like
are a
that-
lot of things that we could talk about that
It's
used
not-
to be a regular thing for thousands of years of human history that are not.
right.
You know what I mean?
That was my point.
I agree. I understand your
It's
point.
like,
but fuck Elvis. He was a pedophile.
No, I'm not saying I like
You're
him.
not wrong.
I'm not saying I like the guy. Definitely not.
No. Yeah, no. I condone zero pedophilia, and he was that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
What's your number two? What's your next pick?
Number 2. Well,
my number one's Elvis. No, I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, you promised a twist and delivered.
Yeah. Donald Trump. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going. Keep
jeez.
going.
Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. And
I know
Dragon
zero
Ball.
about Dragon Ball Z either. I missed anime by like a year. It became cool like the year I started caring about girls.
I think it was music for me.
Frieza is like, so his motivation, he rules over a massive galactic empire, and just subjugates worlds, wipes out he wipes out whole races of people and resells planets basically on the galactic market
Damn.
for a profit. And he's got a whole army that does that.
So there are
but
people that buy planets in Dragon Ball?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty fucked up. Like that whole thing, but that's what makes him so evil. Like, he's a guy who is not relatable by any means.
He's just pure evil.
yeah,
Somebody to
he's-
hate.
But for whatever reason, it makes him, like, so many people love him just because he is so evil, but also you have to take in consideration the aesthetic of the show and, like, the comedy of the show, and which we could get all into, which we do in our other episodes, by the way. Shameless plug on Dragon D's Balls. But he's also motivated by the fact that
It looks like a gray alien
there
with
are
a
other
purple
people.
helmet.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
there are other people that are stronger than him, like Goku and Vegeta, and then like when he fights one of them, they make him exert himself, and that pisses him off because he feels like he is above everyone and everything. He's just like a super evil fucker, and like he's amazing, and I love him.
Nice.
He's one of my favorite villain in all of Dragon Ball, and he's one of my favorites, period. We actually did an episode of the show with Chelsea on Dragon D's Balls, where we talked about the Frieza saga. I think that was episode 6. So one after the most recent, or no, one before.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Yep. But also, he is one of the characters that was like, he had never like trained a day in his life, but he was also one of the most powerful people in Dragon Ball, like at least at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, or like he's the first major villain.
So is it safe to say that if he had training, he would be more powerful?
That's where I'm going. Is like after all that, and he died for a while, got brought back, and then
He's the Kylo Ren of Dragon Ball?
well, lots of people get brought back to life.
No, I'm
But
saying
he-
like he could have been more powerful if he had been trained more.
Yeah. No, but so he does train more. And actually recently in the manga, he's reached a level that's like stronger than most of the gods. And he one-shots Goku and Vegeta in their Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego forms, which you guys don't know much about, but I mean, that's a pretty big deal because those are god level forms.
Nice.
So they are on the level of gods, and he's still.
So there are also gods in Dragon Ball?
Oh yeah.
Huh. This is literally the first time my interest has ever been piqued, ever.
That's a great show.
Yeah, I'm 35 years old. I've never cared once, and this is the first time I've ever asked a question.
It's my favorite shit in the whole world, next to Star Wars. I mean, I've loved Star Wars for a really long time too.
Yeah, I'm Star Wars and football all day is my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to jump in with my number 2 then, since we've already kind of touched on it a little bit. Had to be Darth Vader.
Oh,
And one fun fact is that he's also been the most, not surprising, is the most profitable Star Wars character ever too. When you look as far as merchandising.
Bro, you should see my fucking Star Wars room. I like what we were just talking about. I might have a Boba Fett Pez dispenser. I probably got over 200 things related to Darth Vader. I made Faber fucking go half with me on $500 worth of toys because I had to have one fucking Darth Vader toy. It was when he was on the board getting fixed by the chopper droid. And when they was putting his prosthetics on him and stuff, and he's like laying on the table screaming and shit, I made Faber spend $200 and something on toys just so I could have that one toy.
yeah. Mike Faber, by the way, he was on an episode with us.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I had to tell him, I was like, bro, loosen up. You seemed like you were too.
Well, he was nervous a little
yeah.
bit, but I mean, I think
Like
he did pretty well.
I felt like he was trying to be too nice. Like he was afraid he was going to offend somebody
I
or
know.
something.
It's like, dude, don't worry about it.
Yeah. But
I'm like the
Fobs,
most Virgo.
love you, doggy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I
Shout
enjoyed
out
the
to
episode,
Mike.
bro.
Shout out, bro.
This is the May the 4th.
So
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, it was the May the
episode.
4th.
Yep.
I wish we would have thought to have you and him.
It was a good episode, bro. I listened to it, enjoyed it.
That would have been good.
I was listening to it like, oh, what? I want to say this. I wanted to say this.
That's what
And then
I'm saying,
Nike called in too. I was like, oh, damn it, what?
Yeah. Well, next year.
Cool.
We'll do it on the next May the 4th episode.
I'll be here.
We're going to try to like.
And if not, I'll
incorporate-
hijack the show like Nike with the phone call.
Yeah, we'll
Hell
call
yeah.
up people. Yeah, bring on a lot of different people from.
Well, we'll start calling you for other shit too, though.
Yeah, I'm a full of useless knowledge.
Okay.
So that's what else about Darth Vader besides the merchandising? Why is he your number 2?
Just because it goes again
gonna grab a
to
beer.
that transition of the character, the evolution of the character. It's not a stagnant person, and I really lock it into the original 3 up to Return of the Jedi. I mean, that's where I look, and that's, you know, as far as my life, what was cemented Star Wars. So just looking at those 3 movies, how he progressed from being the bad guy to trying to bring into his son, and then at the end, ultimately kind of opened up to his son and kind of returned to it. So that evolution, that process, that redemption, as well as the treachery along the road. And I think that dynamics in the character is what made him such a great villain. Villain of all villains, arguably, very arguably.
I agree. But I love him for the opposite reasons. Everybody loves the original trilogy. However, the prequels to me is what made him even more evil to me, because you got to see him go from a good-hearted person to doing all these terrible killing kids.
And all the Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's to me what cemented it. Like I said, I was literally like pumping my fists, like jumping up and down the whole time in the movie, screaming like literally like a little kid on Christmas every single time I seen that movie. And that's the most watched movie that I've ever seen, and it's even safe to say I've probably seen that movie over 1,000 times easily.
Yeah, I've seen Sin City a lot.
I love Sin City.
I've seen that movie a lot. I watched it like every day. Like it was on repeat on my DVD player.
See, that's the same with Revenge of the Sith for me. Is when it came out on DVD, like that's literally all I watched for probably a fucking year and a half.
Yeah. It was about a year and a half.
And then I went to prison, and when I was in prison, they never showed Star Wars once the whole fucking time on none of the cheesy channels, nothing, bro. Remember when we were kids? I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. They used to show it every Thanksgiving or Christmas. You guys remember this?
Oh yeah.
Star Wars?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I remember it was one of the holidays, but I was a kid, and that's when I first like fell in love with Star Wars. So, but they didn't, like the whole time I was in prison, I kept waiting for that to happen, and it never fucking happened. And we didn't have Spike TV because they show it all the time on Spike.
You couldn't watch it?
No, bro,
Star
dying. So
Wars.
when I got out, that was the first thing I did was bought all the box sets, and that's all I watched for fuck. It's
Just because you were like
ever deprived. Yeah, I was like,
jonesing
yeah, I
for
was
Star Wars.
feeding, bro.
You couldn't get books or anything?
Yeah, the books I read all the
Well,
books.
at least you could do that.
Yeah.
At least you had that. Because then you can get the novel versions of the movies too.
Yeah.
Which are really good.
The Revenge of the Sith novel. Holy
good.
sheep shit.
So good. When,
Holy
like,
sheep shit.
because it gets more into,
The behind the scenes.
well, not only that, but like it gets into Yoda's head on like who.
It gets into all their head. That's
like,
why it's so good.
Yeah, why he sends each person to fight each Sith.
Mm-hmm. And the stuff on
Like,
Sidious. Like the behind the scenes stuff that he's doing. You see more of that in the books.
Yep. And then like Obi-Wan, he's like, why are you sending me to go fight Anakin? He's like, I can't. Like, and like Yoda gets more into why it has to be Obi-Wan, and it's not because of anything like personal. He's like, the way you fight, like your form, your defensive style is perfect. The perfect match to fight against Anakin, which style did he use? Do you remember the styles?
I don't know.
But his was that super hyper aggressive, like heavy chops with a lot of strength behind him in the Force. And then Obi-Wan is like that smoother defensive style.
It was like Xana and Darth Bane.
Yeah. Where he taught her to have like
Defense because she was smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, she was super small, so he gave her a double-ended lightsaber like Darth Maul.
So
and
her whole thing was off defense and deflection.
And she would keep it spinning to like keep it in motion to be able to like parry and like move attacks to the side as opposed to like blocking.
All counters.
Yeah. Those books are so good.
So good.
And okay,
So we're down to the final three
fucking
picks.
Darth Bane, dude. He is on the list for me.
What, do we skip me?
So well, you got a clip. You wanted to go next, or you want to be the last one because you got the.
Yeah,
clip.
you can be
I'll go last. Yeah.
But since we were already on Darth Bane,
There you go.
there he is, dude. That's my guy for my last pick.
So which one is he? I have a hard time with the name.
Darth
sometimes.
Bane was the one who established the rule of two.
Yep.
He was part of the Army of Darkness with, they call each other the Brotherhood of Darkness, and the guy who ruled them was Khan. Yeah. So he was like the head, even though they were all supposed to be equal. But essentially, he lured all the Jedi into these caverns and did. I hate the name. It's so stupid. It's called the Thought Bomb. Like they could have definitely thought of something better than that. But what it did was
It
anybody
worked
who
well
was
in the focus groups.
Yeah. So
basically
it was
sucked
supposed
the
to be like a
souls.
final battle. Like the Jedi finally had the Sith cornered on this world, and they were gonna get them, win. But and the Sith knew this, so their solution was fuck everybody. And so they meditated and ignited what was a thought bomb, and it killed everything Force sensitive except Xana.
Not only did
and
it-
Darth Bane.
It doesn't only kill you though. It sucks.
It sucks your
it
soul
sucks
out,
your
and
soul
you're like
and
tormented forever in this thing.
Yeah, so like the Force ghosts you see later, it pulls that into the thought bomb, so everything's stuck in this space, and not only that, but in a, like eternal agony.
Yeah. And so and anything that comes near it can like feel it, and it's draining and sad and scary to them. And
it's a Force nexus.
There you go.
And the leader of the Army of Light, which was the Jedi army. So this was a battle between the light and the dark, and they didn't just have Jedi and Sith.
hundreds of thousands of Sith and Jedi, and millions of infantry and soldiers.
mundane people that
Just
didn't
normal
have-
shooters.
So-
Cannon fodder.
the leader of the Army of Light was General Hoth.
Mm-hmm.
And so you remember Planet Hoth, the ice planet.
He won one of his battles there.
The nexus that they create with the thought bomb is what changes the climate of that planet and turns it into an ice world.
Huh.
There are lots of planets like that in Star Wars, where either a Sith or a Jedi had done something extremely devastating to
Terraform it.
Yeah.
But back to Bane, he created the rule of two.
Mm-hmm.
Because joining the army of darkness, he saw the hypocrisy. He's like, we are a fucking amalgam of the Jedi Order. We're like everything that we shouldn't be. He's like, there's so many thousands of Sith.
It was the infighting is what was doing it in for him.
Well, yes, that too. Is like the culture they had created by having so many Sith was that you would have the stronger master, and because of the way they ran thing, they encourage you to stab.
It was literally like the United States political system.
But yeah, you encourage your homie.
You had your elites, and then you had nobody, and everybody else was pretty much in between fighting for space.
It would encourage the culture would encourage you to stab your friend in the back, and that's fine. But there was no reins on it, so like. You
had weaker Sith would gang up on stronger Sith.
The weaker Sith would band together, kill the stronger, and that, in essence, weakens the Sith.
Yeah.
So his idea was like all the power of the dark side should be contained in the Almighty Master, and then he should have one apprentice. And the only time that not master, but
there should be a
Dark Lord,
a master and an apprentice.
Right. So.
A master to hold the knowledge and an apprentice to crave the knowledge.
But you have to take it. Like, you have to take the throne.
Yeah.
And if there's no chance of you banding together with some weaker Sith. I mean, there is a little bit of like the trying, but that was like Xana.
When they try to recruit their apprentice and stuff like that. But it wasn't. Xana told her her recruit, when I fight my master, you stay the fuck away.
Yep.
I do this. If I kill him, then you're my apprentice. If I don't kill him, then it's up to him what he decides to do with you.
Exactly. So, like, the only way it ensures that the Sith only gets stronger over time.
Yes.
Because
evolution.
The only way that you take it is by taking it. And if you don't, fuck you, bitch, and I get a new apprentice.
Yep.
And la-di-da.
Yep.
But, like, also you can have acolytes, which is what Darth Maul was. He was never intended.
But you can't have that. That was manipulations through Sidious.
Sidious, pushed.
Sidious manipulated the whole system, but it's because he knew the end game that he was going to be that.
But look through the line of the 30 Sith from Bane to Palpatine, and you'll see that a lot of them did, like, unconventional shit that didn't line up necessarily with.
But they weren't taking like multiple apprentices, not that I could think of.
I can't remember any that did that.
Cognis, Millennial. I can't think of any. I can't remember
any that did that. But it's not apprentices; those are acolytes that do. They're like Darth Maul was basically an assassin. Like, he was never like supposed to be what Darth Vader was, or he was never intended to take up like the mantle of, Sith Lord.
He was always supposed to be the badass peon.
Yeah. He was the guy that handled the dirty work.
But at the same time, like I said, they corrupted it by that point to where Darth Sidious never taught any of his apprentices about the rule of two.
Vader?
He didn't teach him about the rule of two.
Well, you don't know. I mean, it's been
like there's Vader was literally the lapdog the entire time, and there was never any desire to take over.
I agree. You could totally say that Vader was the same as Darth Maul, and I think,
but it's through the master's teaching. Palpatine didn't teach him that because he killed his master so he could become the most powerful. Oh, the only most powerful. He didn't do it to
Palpatine.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I agree with you. I'm saying I think maybe Vader was always equivalent to like Darth Maul and Palpatine's eyes. Like
in Palpatine's eyes.
And Palpatine wanted to live forever and rule the Sith forever, and the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. So he's like ultimately he was their downfall because he corrupted it. And I think if he would have taught Anakin to overtake him, how powerful Anakin would have became.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he doesn't want
My
that.
new apprentice will become more powerful than either of us.
And then that kind of fucks it up too, because like in the new shit, he's wanting to pass it on to Rey.
Yeah, see, but that's another J.J. Abrams thing. Probably.
Yeah, that's where those movies kill it for me a
The
little
story, they ruined the whole story,
Yeah,
bro.
it
They
sucks.
ruined the whole story.
It
The
sucks.
visual shit
And
was
you
amazing. Rogue
okay,
One was
so
awesome, but the
bit. Did you
trilogy.
read the stuff with Darth Kaitis?
yeah,
Jason
in the
Solo?
EU, yeah,
Yeah, that shit's what is it called?
he was the better version of Kylo Ren,
So no, oh dude, you can't even compare.
and his sister was the better version of Rey.
He was a Force adept. He had traveled around the galaxy and learned from other Force using groups that did not use the Force, like the Sith and the Jedi.
And got chopped in half by his sister.
That's where that was dope. That's where so he learned how to like flow walk. He could walk through time like as a shadow and like, you know what I mean? Like not influence events, but he could be there and witness it. Like
So we
with the
could
Force.
astral project
Yes, well,
and
through time.
view. He's a time voyeur.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, Jason Solo was super tight.
And he was crazy powerful, and also they shit on our boy Luke. He was so fucking gangster in the EU.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck? That guy was incredible in
Yeah.
the like. So as powerful as Jason was, Luke walks in at one point and just like Jason sitting in his like command chair, and he just holds him there and remember he crushes the chair like into the ground, and Jason's like trying to fight him with the Force, and he just cannot. Like
well, Jason and Jaina saved Luke when he was in a coma when they was toddlers.
True. Well, the whole reason Jason was the way he was, that would have been another great guy to put on the list.
Yeah,
So honorable mention again is Jason Solo, Darth Kaitis. He is.
We could do a whole list just on Star
yeah.
Wars
Oh
villains.
my god!
yeah.
He might be my favorite Star Wars villain, honestly,
Darth Vader, Darth Bane.
because there's a point when he uses that flow walking and he walks with Darth Vader as he goes through and executes Order 66. He's killing. He watches him
Kill
like
kids. Yeah.
but by the end he does it so he can see what his grandpa's motivations were to turning to the dark side, and then to compare him to his own, and he wanted to make sure that he was turning to the dark for the right reasons. It was like a weird, but like that's what makes him a great villain, is like his crazy way of convincing himself into turning to the dark.
He was just the better version of Kylo Ren. Honestly, Kylo Ren was like the great value version.
Yeah, he was like the Dollar General,
Yeah.
the Wish version.
Yep.
All right. We're
All right,
So
who's up next?
next one, and then O'Shea will wrap it up. It's kind of an easy one, but the Joker.
Okay.
Got to be one of the best villains ever. Just as things we've talked about before, he's got that maniacal and so many different variations, and each variation
Yeah.
has its own merit. Within the comic books, from like Killing Joke to
the Killing Joke.
such a great book, or Death in the Family.
Flashpoint Paradox.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't got to that. That's in Mike. He is the
Bro, that's my
Flashpoint series.
favorite. That's my favorite.
Or even him kicking off the events of Injustice. It's like him tricking Superman into killing Lois Lane, and then in turn into killing him, like killing the Joker, killing himself. Like he got the Superman to cross those lines and become a villain himself.
And again, it makes Batman, as we've said before, you can't have Batman without the Joker at least some point in time.
Exactly.
And even in some like in Gotham, I haven't finished watching it, but he was a character that just kind of wasn't really the Joker, but then all of a sudden had all these imitators doing the same thing. This like maniacal thing just kind of bubbled up from the surface that were these many different forms of Joker. It never really called it that. And I think that was pretty early on in the Gotham show, but so many, just lunacy and just that relatability, or even like, it moves the political discussion a little too.
Well, and how many other, stories have tried to emulate that or recreate the Joker in some way? Like Carnage, you could say, is like an extreme version of Carnage, or the Joker.
Although the Joker often has a little bit more, depending on the story, a little more nuance to it as far as the depth. There's usually some sort of Carnage. Often is just straight up just carnage, killing just for the blood and the gore of it.
Well, but
sometimes
the Joker would totally do that too.
There's some stories, yeah,
he would totally just kill for the fun of it, and that's what I mean. Is like those chaos characters, the ones that just thrive on
agents of chaos.
Yes, exactly. They just, and you said something about organized chaos, which is funny. Is like. These characters do need organization. Like take for example the Joker in the Batman trilogy, the Christian Bale one, The Dark Knight. He claims to be the agent of chaos and all this and all that, but then he is making these crazy convoluted plans to execute and get like what he wants in the end. So it's like I just think that's interesting, is that like these are like dudes that want chaos, but they're hyper good at organizing and creating the chaos in an organized way.
Or a plan to create such chaos takes such
maniacal
attention to detail.
Yeah, and planning. Which is like what they're fighting against is like the plan. Like they want chaos.
This made me laugh. I just thought of Butters from South Park.
Me?
No, we were just talking about all the chaos, Professor Chaos.
Oh,
chaos.
That should have been on the list.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention, Professor Chaos.
Hell yeah.
All right.
What was his little buddy's name? The dude the little...
I can only picture the thing on his head. The little redhead guy.
Yeah, with the glasses.
Yep.
Fuck. What? God damn it. Okay, well, he's not on the list. Fuck him. But Professor Chaos.
It was a cool pun name. All right. Well.
Oh, he's looking it up. No,
I was.
My last pick. Okay.
Yeah.
My last pick was my favorite. Like eloquent gentleman villain is Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, dude. Okay, you are picking some good ones.
Yeah, bro. Just every time.
Was that the bombshell? That was the one you were like.
Last one. Yeah.
That is a great one.
Hans Landa, he's my guy. He's the one who makes you don't agree with the fucking thing, not one thing he does. Yeah, it's just so amazing to watch him do it. You know what I mean?
You cannot help but respect his dude's
his
clearly
intelligence.
Yeah, he's so smart.
His intelligence is insane. How he tricks everybody into telling on themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. How he's antagonizing them dudes. He knows that they're fucking American soldiers, but he's making them speak Italian to them and shit like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's all that. Everything.
Very Loki.
Oh, I love, but man, Loki wishes he was like fucking Hans Landa. If Loki was written by Tarantino, yes.
He's definitely that silver-tongued manipulator that can just move people like chess pieces. Yes. You know what I mean? He could totally just...
When he's toying with Shoshana in the thing, he says...
he knows exactly who she is.
He orders her a thing with milk.
Well, you got a question. Does he know who she is at that point?
I can't remember what I watched, so I'd hate to just talk out of my ass, but I watched a thing where it was like a Vice. You ever watch Vice on YouTube? They have literal breakdowns. They'll have psychiatrists break down the Joker and shit like that. Yeah, someone broke him down and but it was a Tarantino film.
I watched one where I forget the name of the YouTube channel. I wish I could remember, but they did him in an episode, and then they did have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Yes.
And
Is that the one, the oil over oil?
it was like, yeah, the evil with like, it just went over like what made each of those characters like evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vice does that.
Yeah, same deal. I forgot where I was going.
Analyzing Evil.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've
I
watched
think that is it.
I've watched that.
It was pretty good.
I live on YouTube, bro. I got like, if you look at my YouTube, I'm like 67 hours a
You
week.
got a channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, plug it.
Okay. It's just Osh from the Ghost. It's got my podcast when I used to do Noise from Nowhere, which was based around the local hip hop scene essentially, and it was really good. We had Nike and we had everybody on it that was from here. So just Osh from the Ghost on YouTube. That's my channel. It's all my music videos. It's all my podcasts. Everything that I do in entertainment wise. So
Oh yeah. So is that your favorite Tarantino movie?
yes, that's my number 3 favorite movie. My top 3 favorite movies: Revenge of the Sith, Fight Club, and Inglourious Bastards. Top 3 of all time.
Okay, so why is that your favorite?
Tarantino.
Yeah,
I've
just
always
out of Tarantino's list.
It's because honestly, it's because of Hans Landa. It really is. It's just because of the
so would Django be like right next to that?
No.
You don't like
it's
Django?
because the intelligence and the
Christopher
layers.
Waltz.
Yeah,
He's-
Christopher Waltz is amazing, but it's the layers of the sneakiness of his character. It's not just specifically Christoph Waltz, who is amazing, one of my favorite
he's
actors ever.
such an amazing actor.
He is, bro. I think he speaks like 6 languages, bro, fluently.
He's such a good actor.
Fluently. He was the villain in Green Hornet, the shitty Green Hornet.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the Russian bad guy.
Are you fucking kidding? The
No.
Seth Green movie?
Yeah.
That was like, I forget if I even liked that movie or not.
It was pretty terrible, but I mean, I watched it. It had some cool fight scenes
I
and shit. But
cannot, dude. Now I want to watch it just to see him in it.
yeah, he's the bad guy. But yeah, Christoph Waltz is amazing. But just the character of Hans Landa, really, I love Inglourious Bastards just because the snarkiness of it and the badassness of it and the grittiness of it.
It's a great movie.
The mental
I haven't
aspects,
seen it the whole way through. I've only
Any-
seen bits and pieces.
anything with the mental aspect to it is I love American Psycho. I love A Clockwork Orange because it's got that the demented make you think thriller aspect.
Requiem for a Dream.
I've never seen it.
It's a good one if you want to watch A Death of a Dream.
That's a fucking crazy movie.
A heroin movie.
It's like a fever dream, is what that damn movie is.
So, I mean, Requiem Mass is a funeral. So it's a funeral for a dream is the literal
It's-
direct translation, or
Isn't it Requiem of a Dream?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's of a dream.
There's a show on YouTube. It's called Requiem of an American Dream, and it will make you depressed as fuck about
Yeah, so, well,
finances and your plot and life in America.
Okay, well, this will make you feel depressed about drugs. And just like, dude, it is a fucked up movie. You should check it out, though.
I don't like drug movies.
Yeah, then don't watch it. It's fucking the worst drug
Or
movie.
it's a tragedy.
Spun was terrible.
Okay, so if you don't like Spawn, do not watch this one.
Yeah, no.
It's a fucking lunatic. Like, I'm telling you, it's like a fever dream. Agreed?
Sure.
Like when the ladies all fucked up on the diet pills and like the fridge is coming after her and shit. Like, it's a fucking... That movie is fucked. I don't like it.
Oh, I like Fear and Loathing, but that's different.
That's different. You have to like that.
I love Fear and
you
Loathing. I just literally just watched it last
You
night.
don't like
Train Spotting. Train Spotting is a
I
good.
haven't seen that.
Is that the Bill Murray movie?
No,
No, that's where the Buffalo Room.
that's
Yeah.
same guy who's Obi-Wan now. Like,
Ewan McGregor.
yes, Ian McGregor, early, young.
Him and all his homies are heroin addicts.
Yep.
I've seen it, but haven't
Oh,
seen
is
it.
that the Robert Downey Jr. one where he dies at the end?
No,
I don't think so.
What the fuck is
It's
that
like
one?
it's an English movie.
Oh, there's one with Robert Downey Jr.
the
where
opening
he,
scene, he jumps into a toilet, the grossest toilet in Scotland, I think, and he jumps into it, and it shows him kind of burrowing and just jumping, like
because he's
crawling
high as
into it,
fucking thinks he is.
because he shot his heroin suppository into the lavatory and had to retrieve it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yes.
That
Anyway,
sets
what's
the
your...
stage for the whole movie.
You know a movie that just came when you said that? The Gentleman. Have you seen The Gentleman?
I've been meaning to watch it.
Opening scene.
It's
Amazing, bro. That whole movie is awesome. What I don't like is how Matthew McConaughey talks in the movie. He's still himself, but they're in England, so he's trying to be like more, proper. That's his role in the movie, but the movie is amazing.
Who is the boxing trainer? I can't.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he is great.
Bro, I literally bought a plaid champion sweatsuit because of that fucking movie.
He
dog.
rocks that shit, dude.
Bro, his whole crew.
Dude, those who made that?
I'm not sure. It's a Miramax movie, but I'm not sure.
Well, it's the same dude that made like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Is
and
it?
shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Who was that?
I have
Can
no
you look
idea.
it up, Bill?
Maybe.
It's called The Gentleman.
Gentleman.
Who wrote and directed that?
Have you seen?
And I think it's the same dude that did like Reservoir Dogs and
No,
or-
Reservoir Dogs was Tarantino.
Yeah.
no, not Reservoir Dogs. What's the Boondock Saints?
2019.
I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was newer than that.
Guy Ritchie.
There you go. Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch.
I love Snatch. Have you seen Lucky Number 11?
No,
It's similar
I
to
don't
those.
think so.
It's the
But those
the
are all
crazy plot twist at the end.
Those are all Guy Ritchie films, though. Is like Snatch and Lock, Stock,
Yeah, I like those movies.
and he's like the English Tarantino.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You got like similar taste in movies as me. Like all that shit is like all shit that I love.
I mean, I can't do action bang 'em up. I can't the classic action movies. I can't do it. It's got to be something to make me think.
One of my favorite movie shootouts is from Inglourious Bastards. The
In the
scene
basement.
bar,
Yeah.
and like it plays out like a gunfight really would.
I don't
It's
know
like,
about all that.
well,
but
maybe
it was
not.
Amazing.
That was like to the extreme.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the
But bro, the
like
mental
quick-
element of just that scene alone.
the quickness of the
You got the fucking Gestapo officer that recognizes dialects and
it was because of the way he said three.
but he was reading a book in the opposite end of the
Yeah.
cavern and heard dudes.
His dialect
Yeah.
was fucked up.
Yeah.
And so another smart character and that's what's like great about Tarantino movies is that he can make a complex character that only is there for
I feel like Kevin Smith would be as good as Tarantino if he didn't try to put too much on it, because they both have a lot of dialogue and elaborate dialogue, but I think Kevin Smith just goes the one extra, the straw that broke the camel's back.
I don't think you can put Kevin Smith in the same category.
That's why I'm not, is because
Yeah,
Kevin
'cause-
Smith overdoes it.
Well, and he's faded in the greatness of his movies over time. Tarantino has gotten better.
I think he stayed pretty consistent, bro. I feel like he's like
No.
when you watch your heartbeat on the thing.
That new Jay and Silent Bob movie was trash.
Oh, the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that they kept clarifying the whole movie that it was a reboot.
I hope Clerks 3 is not. That would make me want to cry.
See, because that was the amazing thing about Clerks, though, is the dialogue.
Well, yeah. Well, Clerks and Clerks 2 both are great movies.
Clerks 1 had terrible acting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shit movie.
terrible.
It's a
But it's-
shit movie, but it's so good.
But it's the
and
dialogue, the
yes.
points that they make, the things that they bring up that's
Yeah.
like, so relatable. Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot. Every
It's
dude.
real. It's real, is what it is. It's like them at work reminds you of you and your homies at work.
Or the dude you don't like, or,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers that are always in the way or annoying. And
I think Kevin Smith lost that out of his movies is like the relatability. And like those early movies, Mallrats and shit. And like just like you said, the dialogue. I'm hitting the fucking mic stand. The dialogue. And I think that's what carries those movies, honestly.
It is. So when the dialogue gets shitty, then
Yeah.
the movie gets shitty. So
But
like, what's the movie, the Tarantino movie, Hateful Eight? Don't like it.
I love that movie.
Nope. The whole scene where he's marching the general out in the snow to suck his dick. Nope.
I love that
Nope.
movie.
You lost me.
That
Nope.
shit's funny.
It
Why?
ruined the whole
Is
fucking
it about
movie for me.
the sucking dick?
Bro, okay, if that's your thing,
Is it about the sucking dick thing?
it's about the description, dog. Like,
Like too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one wants to hear. I don't want to hear that.
Fair enough.
No, if some dude was sitting here telling me that, I'm like, bro, I don't need to know that. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to willingly do it as entertainment.
Even if it was Samuel L. Jackson.
No, especially with Samuel L.
Okay.
I've never watched that movie twice.
I've watched the super extended version where it was like they did it in episodes on Hulu. It's super long, like 4 hours.
Have you watched the extended version in Justice League?
Yeah.
I haven't. Faber told me I need to.
It's
I
good.
haven't yet.
It's good.
I can't. Oh man, like not the gentleman. What's the Irishman? That was 3 hours or 2.5 hours or something. Holy shit! I felt like that was the longest movie I ever watched, even though it's not. But it felt like it just because it. And it even stayed pretty. It stayed pretty. You know, action in it.
It was a lot of long shots. I mean, it was Martin Scorsese. But so instead of like the guy gets in the car, cut shot, goes into the room.
You got to watch him
He's driving down the highways, making the turn.
Pan out and big.
I mean, very old school kind of like Orson Welles old school kind of Rosebuds style of
so
video.
he's all artsy fartsy about it.
And there's a lot of stuff that could have been easily lost on the cutting room floor that wasn't.
Yeah. Or stuff that who knows what was lost that they left other shit in too. But I liked the movie for an entertainment purpose. But knowing as much as I do about the Mafia, I could start a whole podcast on the Mafia of all the shit that I know about them.
And it did a lot of like face aging and stuff too. A lot of cool.
Man, me and my brother die laughing every time where he goes and beats up the store clerk. Oh my goodness, this old ass De Niro trying to like beat a dude up. Oh my, it's the funniest shit in the world. It's the funniest shit, and he stomps on his hand all. Reminded me of my grandpa. Oh my god!
You're like, you gotta pretend like
that's exactly how it was, bro. It was too much.
Like,
but
is that
it was
all?
a good movie for entertainment for sure.
That's fucking funny. All right, Bill, you got one last?
No, that was Joker.
Oh,
Joker,
okay.
Darth Vader, and Spider Venom.
So we all got everything, huh?
So that was it. So
any more honorable mentions?
No, those are my favorites. What's his name? Damn it, American Psycho. What's his name?
Oh fuck, Patrick Bateman.
Bateman. Yep. He's one of my all-time favorites. The guy from Clockwork Orange, one of my all-time favorites.
I hate that movie.
I love that movie, bro.
I can't.
It's so fucked up, but I love it.
I can't stand it. Along with
but that's what Samuel L. They did what he did, but in an artsy way. You know what I mean? I could watch. No one wants to watch a rape scene or nothing like that. However, the art aspect of it makes it, bro. How is that different than a dude making another dude?
Okay, no, I said that's.
Come on, bro.
Okay, fair
that's
enough.
Clockwork
not only
Orange
that,
made
I
you.
just
It
thought
was
that-
designed to make you
it
feel
made
uncomfortable.
You feel, yeah,
It was
yeah.
supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. That was the whole point.
And you don't think that Sam Jackson describing in excruciating detail?
I think that was just Tarantino having too much fun.
Yeah, that's him trying to make you uncomfortable, though.
But I think that was just him having too much fun, bro. I think that was him putting a cherry.
He does it as a
top.
joke.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a punchline.
Okay,
I bet you. I wonder,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Even you said it.
So
you
the
were like you
punch-
laughed. It made you laugh.
It takes too long to get to the end of the joke, though. Is what you're saying?
It's like my little sister when she tells a story, bro. It's like, fuck, is there a point to this? Let's go. Come on.
Are we gonna? You know, I got shit to do.
Yeah, like I
this
get
week.
it. Let's come on. I don't need to know the middle stuff. Let's get to the,
Isn't that the worst? I know this dude, and I'm not gonna say his name.
My little sister's the worst. I love you, Morgan. She knows it. It's like
This
a family
dude will
joke.
tell you what color a person's shirt was and like what he ate for breakfast, and you're just like, "Fuck's sake, can we get to the end of this shit?" Like, I got so much shit to do today, motherfucker. So where were you at, Bill?
About that time.
It's about that time. All right.
Yep.
Close.
Make sure to check out thecomiczone.com. We got links to subscribe to everything there and social medias and all that.
And
the anti-social media pages are all links to all that stuff there.
yeah, so we're on Twitter, or not on Twitter.
Yeah, we're on Twitter.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. We're on all the stuff. Bill's got us a YouTube page up. And also we're on TikTok now. So follow the comics, or is it at Comix Zone?
Just go to thecomiczone.com and follow the links.
Yep. But that's not on the website yet.
It is.
It's not.
It'll be there.
Okay. Oh, look how aggressive he was about that.
He knows.
He gave me like the.
I'm the puppeteer. Wait, where's my camera?
You can find me on everything. I'm on my music's on every streaming service. My podcasts are on YouTube.
Osh from the Ghost, right? That's what.
Yeah, it's either at Osh from the Ghost or Twitter is OshFromCasper.
I was gonna ask you, and like, so you had the podcast going. Any plans? Any plans?
Absolutely,
on
yeah.
hopping that back off.
So the reason I haven't started another podcast, the reason why I quit the podcast was the dynamic that we originally installed died out. You know, that fizzle died out. I think we made it 20 episodes. They were amazing.
What dynamic are you talking?
Me and I used to co-host it, and just
Oh yeah. I got you.
So that whatever
You
was
lost
there,
your co-host.
yeah, no, I just whatever me and him had was just gone. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I got
that's a long story. So
Yeah.
but yes, I just haven't chosen, because like I could talk about anything, like literally any topic, and I can just talk. So I haven't chosen what I want to base
Focus on?
the platform on. No, you know, like
Or you
even
wanna
though this
be
is the
more-
Comix Zone and we talk about all kinds of random shit, there's still a base.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't.
you
I
want to
haven't
be more
chose.
general? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to, Joe Rogan ish.
Yeah.
You know.
That is interesting that more people don't like try to copy that format.
I don't think
I mean,
that's
because
a
it's-
copyable format, bro. Joe Rogan.
I know
is
he
dope.
is what he
You,
is.
you could.
Yeah,
I
he's
could
the
go in a
goat.
whole episode why you should not.
Yeah.
And the reason is because
Why though?
because that's like trying to say, oh, I want to recreate the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
True.
You can't,
here's the
and
thing.
there's no point in doing it
No,
because
okay, I agree with
But
that.
here's
right
the
now
thing
it's
about
all
Joe
about
Rogan
being
is
specialized.
Joe Rogan can get any guest from any walk of life, any that specializes in it, and so he can get peak interest from.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is it doesn't matter. He just has to publish. He's already getting paid.
Okay, but this hasn't always been the case. Like he started out just like me and you. You know what I'm saying? He started from like recording in his basement with a webcam and shitty mics and
a video camera
and
walking
talking
around.
to his fucking buddies about nothing at all.
Dog, side note, did you know Eddie Bravo is a fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt?
Of course, yeah. That's why Eddie Bravo is famous.
I didn't know that at all.
That's why Eddie.
I thought he was just Joe Rogan's friend.
No, Eddie invented a lot of like. Okay, so no gi. Oh my god, we could do a whole podcast on this.
I
It's
cannot
like, so
stand
maybe-
Eddie Bravo
so
because I don't
maybe-
like extreme conspiracy theorists, but I just found that out, so I have a whole
he's
different respect
crazy
for
when
him.
it comes to that, but like he is like hyper intelligent and like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get that, and like
Yeah, I know lots of
and
paranoid.
so that
schizophrenics.
makes him he's not paranoid.
bro.
But that makes him crazy good at jujitsu, like his hyper attention to like,
Yeah,
but so he's invented. So have you seen the move, the Twister?
Mm-mm.
There's a couple instances where dudes have been caught in it in the UFC, and it's like a full, like torques your fucking whole body and spine, like fucked up move. It literally twists
I'll have to YouTube
the
it.
bottom half of your body and the top half. But so Eddie Bravo is actually a super prominent person in jiu-jitsu, period.
Yeah, no, I just found that out. I literally just learned
The
that.
dude's a fucking genius.
I was listening to Michael Jai White, and that's what Michael Jai White's like. Literally,
he's legit,
praising
dude.
him, bro.
He is fucking legit too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Michael Jai White, he was praising Joe
And,
Rogan and Eddie
you-
Bravo, bro.
We
in
should
their
have talked
martial
about
arts.
that with Raiden. It's like dudes that do legit martial arts in movies, and Michael Jai White is like the most legit of like
Bro, watch him on
legit
Vlad.
fucking martial artist.
Watch his interviews on DJ Vlad. He's a regular guest on Vlad.
Oh yeah, Vlad's interesting.
I love Vlad. Bro,
You know what?
Vlad solved the Tupac murder, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know who killed Tupac because of DJ Vlad. I mean, people in Compton and in the gangs and all that
All
shit.
knew that shit
They all
already.
knew, but the public now we know because of DJ Vlad.
Okay, I want to hear this.
I'll send you links, bro.
I'll do it.
The investigating officer in L.A., Greg Kading, a dude from Death Row named Mob James, who was one of Suge Knight's best friends, all the Outlaws, Tupac's best friends. This is where the bombshell of we found out who did it was one of the dudes who was in the car. His name was Keefy D. got caught on PCP shit, and they're like, bro, we know you was in the car with the Tupac shit. Like, every single person knows this. We just
weren't the cops in on like
no
covering this shit up?
Nope. So anyway, listen. So fucking homeboy was caught for PCP, and so to get out of that, they gave him immunity to tell what he knew about the Tupac murder, and fucking told the whole entire story that corroborated every eyewitness account.
Okay, where does Suge fall into this?
Nothing. Nowhere.
What?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was like the big thing is people
The
wanting
conspiracy
to put,
theory wanted
wanted to
everybody
put
wanted Suge to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
No. It was Orlando Brown, the dude they jumped in the casino. Orlando
so
Anderson.
it's like not
Brown.
even that big. It's just
It
like
was gang retaliation.
it's just dumb shit.
Literally gang retaliation is
It's
all it
always
was.
just some dumb shit, and like, you know, and and Suge is such a fuck. Speaking of villains, that dude's about as shitty as it gets, right?
So I've heard both. I've heard the people that
He's
like Snoop Dogg, perfect example.
He's like-
Snoop Dogg shit on him for years, but now that they're older, he's like, look, Suge did a lot of shitty shit, but you know, he
we
also
were all
did.
doing fucking.
He
Gang
said he made me, Snoop Dogg, a multimillionaire. What am I doing for people? That wouldn't be done without Suge Knight. He made all these dudes who was from the streets and was going to go to prison or die gangbanging into multimillionaires to have a second chance.
Okay, send it off on this. Suge Knight, hero, villain.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say both.
Oh.
I don't even know
said,
who he
So,
is.
so he was the hero that lived long enough to become
He's in prison.
the villain.
Yeah.
He ran a dude over with a car.
Yeah, he's going to die.
Have you seen that video? What?
I won't watch those kind of
You've
shit.
I
I don't like watching people getting actually hurt.
I do. I'm kind of messed up like that.
I mean, if it's organized like
Why are
boxing
you
or
shaking your head?
No, I've seen some fucked up shit. My
Oh,
brother,
I've seen some really fucked up shit.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Anyway, follow the Comix Zone wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Google. Apparently, we're on Audible too. I didn't know that.
we're everywhere.
And at Comix Zone Podcast on Twitter. Or not Twitter. Why do we keep saying that? TikTok. And thecomixzone.com. Thanks for coming on, buddy. We really appreciate you.
Love it.
Peace.